Good morning, and welcome to the Universalist Church, in which love is the spirit. We're glad you're here, whether you're here in the sanctuary today or anywhere in the world on our live stream. I'm Mike Zanta, one of the co-moderators on the Board of Trustees. If you're a visitor, we hope you'll sign one of our guest books at either entrance to the sanctuary or visit our webpage, westhartforduu.org, to learn more. There you can use the contact page to get onto our electronic mailing list, which is the best way for us to stay connected. We look forward to helping you become part of the Universalist Church. We'll have fellowship through Zoom and in Fisk Hall after worship. If you need help finding your way to Fisk Hall for our fellowship hour, any member of our church will be happy to guide you. Just look for someone wearing a Universalist Church name tag. You can find the link for Zoom fellowship in your weekly news or our Breeze calendar. If you aren't getting the weekly news, please do sign up for it on our website. And now, I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phone silent, turn off your email and put away your keyboards, and settle in for worship.
If you have a home chalice, I invite you to light yours as we light ours here in the sanctuary right now. We light our chalice with a flame that is new-born in this moment, but it comes from the flame that danced and grew before it. And we too have been new. Each of us has been at some point just born. And we too have become those who came before, whether giving life or guidance, wisdom or comfort. In this flame, we are reminded that it is our task to make sure that the things that we value continue on beyond us for those who will need it when they, too, begin to dance. Our opening hymn is number 338 in the gray hymnal, number 338. It's called, "I Seek the Spirit of a Child." Please rise in body or in spirit here in the sanctuary or wherever you are. wonder of a child who sees delightfully, now clouds and cloud, now golden sun, imaginations true and free. Children are real beyond all eyes. May I see faith's a gift to our eyes. Please join me in speaking the words of our affirmation, our covenant. It's printed in the order of service and in the description online. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
At this time, I would love to have the children or anyone young at heart to come join me up on the steps. Now, I have a very important question for you. Who can tell me, who remembers, what is our covenant? Who knows what our covenant is? We just said it. Who remembers it? You think you know it? What do you think? I'll give you a hint. It starts with love. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, another word for a covenant is a promise. Raise your hand. Have you ever made a promise before?
I've made them many times.
You've made them many times. Absolutely. What are some things that you have promised? Let's think. What are some things that you have promised? I know I've promised to always keep my room clean. What about you, Julia?
I promised my baby sister that I wouldn't tell her that she goes to secret places with friends.
Oh, you've made promises to your baby sister. Those are good ones. Who else has made a promise? What have you promised? You promised to keep your room clean? You do that together? That's a good promise. What about you, Kai?
I said I promised that I wouldn't tell my mom that Molly and me was watching YouTube.
Oh, you promised you wouldn't tell Mom that you were watching YouTube. Oh. I think Mom knows now. Those are all really, really good promises. I don't know. Today, our whole congregation is going to make a really big promise.
What type of promise?
We are going to promise to take care of some of our children in our congregation. Now, raise your hand. Do you know, have you been dedicated in the church? I know some of you have. Yeah, you've been dedicated. When we dedicate someone in our church, it means we're making a promise. So what do you think we're promising to our children? When we dedicate them, what promise are we making to them? You forgot. That's okay. You can think about it. What do you think? To always love them. To take care of them. To protect them. These are all really important promises. Now, I would like you to think of a promise that you would like to make to the children in our church. What is a promise? You are children, that is correct. You can make a promise to yourself, or you can make a promise to each other. What would you like to promise? Can you think of a promise you'd like to make? What do you think? To always love everyone. What's another promise you could make? What do you think? Help change babies' diapers. That's a good promise. What do you think?
Get myself dressed by myself.
You're going to always get yourself dressed by yourself. That's a good promise. Are there any other promises you would like to make?
So I can take off.
That's a good one. Can we promise to always be kind to each other? Yeah, and we could promise to always help each other. What are some ways we could help each other? You've made that promise before?
Yeah.
And you? Wow, we're all very helpful.
So many times.
You've done it so many times. You're always being helpful. That's so good. Well, at this time, we're going to sing all of you guys out to your classes. You're all going to head upstairs to go to your class. Please join me in singing our children out. It is number 413 in the gray hymnal, Go Now in Peace. Unless you're being dedicated, then you're staying here.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Before I talk about today's offering in particular, I want to share some very exciting news with all of you. And that is that we have exceeded our pledge goal for this year. It's the first time in a few years we've done that, and that is marvelous news. We aimed for $415,000, and we are now beyond that. We're over 420, and we're still waiting for the last of our expected pledges to come in. So, if you are one of the people who's not quite managed to do it yet, please get it in soon so we can announce a final total. If you have not yet found your way into our pledge drive or made a pledge to the church, but this is a place that's important to you, I invite you to speak with me or with Kristen Phillips after the service. She just raised her hand, so that we can get you set up and so that we can know how to budget for next year. What you give to the church allows us to do all the remarkable things that you have come to want and need. And given your generosity with an increasingly balanced budget for this year and next, and that is extremely exciting. So, our voluntary offering, the sharing of our resources for our shared work as a religious community, is a spiritual practice for us. By offering your time, talent, and treasure to this congregation, you help us to serve our members, our friends, and make a difference in the wider world too. As part of that service, we share our general offering each week so that we can help in the wider world and bring us ever closer to creating beloved community. And so this month, instead of sharing with a charity or a service agency beyond our walls, we're actually going to share our offering with the Minister's Discretionary Fund. The fund is a way that we can help make the world an easier place for one another in times of hardship. It allows us to help people from within and beyond our congregation who don't know where else to turn by providing a source of money that can help in times of need. And so your gift this month expands the Discretionary Fund's reach and helps me be able to help others. To give electronically, you can use the QR codes in the order of service or the links in the description or those on our website. And here in the sanctuary, our offering will now be gratefully received. May these gifts so generously given sustain the work that we do together, the life of this community, and help us to reach out beyond our walls and within to help those who need it most. Thank you. Thank you. Please rise in body or in spirit as we speak our congregational reading. It's number 649 in the gray hymnal. Number 649. Joyce is going to lead us in the words in Roman type, and we will respond with the words in italics.
From generation to generation. In a house which becomes a home, one hands down, another takes up the heritage of mind and heart, laughter and tears, musing and deeds.
Love, like a carefully loaded ship, crosses the gulf between the generations.
Therefore, we do not neglect the ceremonies of our passage when we wed, when we die, and when we are blessed with a child.
When we depart and when we return, when we plant and when we harvest.
Let us bring up our children. It is not the place of some official to hand to them their heritage.
If others impart to our children our knowledge and ideals, they will lose all of us that is wordless and full of wonder.
Let us build memories in our children, lest they drag out joyless lives, lest they allow treasures to be lost because they have not been given the keys.
We live not by things, but by the meanings of things. It is needful to transmit the passwords from generation to generation. Let's join in singing our Doxology. It's in your order of service. Please be seated. I don't have anything specific to share with you on behalf of the congregation today, but we know, if we've been watching the news, that there are many, many things changing in the wider world. And so I would ask that today we hold people all across the country, here certainly, but also those in Syria and in Ukraine and in Georgia and in Sudan and any other place where there is tussling over what democracy means, over what the rule of a country will look like, where there is fighting, where there is struggle to figure out how people can be free. In our faith, we uphold democracy as one of our core ideals. We believe that everybody should have a voice. Everyone should have a say in how their world works and have the freedom to feel comfortable making that stand, saying those words, occupying that space. And so let us this morning hold everyone who is trying to do that very same thing in our hearts, offering them strength and support and hope. Today is our child dedication for this fall. And so I ask you to join me in a moment of prayer and blessing for this Child Dedication Sunday. We are blessed beyond measure by the children among us. The presence of people of all ages continues that blessing and the gift in this sanctuary. In one another, we meet the spirit of life, the brilliance of existence. In one another, we find paths and possibilities that offer a future worth living. Each person of every age is one more person who can change the world, change a life, bring beauty and balance and healing. So let us rejoice together in one another and in those we welcome into our midst. Let us take a moment in stillness for the prayers of our own hearts. Spirit of life and love, which exists among, within, and beyond us all. On this day, we dedicate ourselves to making a better world for each child that comes into it. May each and every one of us know that we are held and loved within circles of family and friends within this congregation. May it be so. Amen. Every so often, once or hopefully twice a year, we dedicate the children who have come into the congregation. Whether these children are babies or teenagers, we celebrate and welcome all of those who have not yet come of age and offer up a promise to be alongside them as they grow in their faith. It's important that we do this as a community, because to be dedicated in our faith is to be made part of our covenant. In other religious communities and traditions, children may be baptized or consecrated or dedicated to a particular God. As Unitarian Universalists, we have so many different places and religious perspectives that we come from that instead we dedicate our children and ourselves to a life lived within our covenants, our promises regarding how we will be with one another and in the world. We know that our children will be guided by the wisdom and beliefs of their parents and families, and that is exactly as it should be. We also know that teaching children how to seek truth within a religious community requires a religious community. So, this isn't something that a parent or a family does alone. It is something that we all do together. promising that we will all provide a community that will enrich and nurture children into a life that is the best life we can imagine, filled with wonder and wisdom, mercy and justice, compassion, kindness, and love.
Who here was dedicated in a UU church? Who here was dedicated in this UU church? I see a couple hands. I was dedicated at the Unitarian Society of Hartford, and my son was dedicated here in this congregation. Being dedicated and raised in a UU church gave me the foundation I needed to find myself, allowed me to discover my own belief system, and gave me a strong community to be a part of. I am a lifelong UU, and I hope that my son will be as well. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold dear our promise that we make to engage in and support one another in a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Our children are always listening to our words and watching our actions. They will grow and follow their own paths, find their own passions, and discover their own reason and faith. We dedicate our children into a way of being, not a certainty of believing. Our tradition asks us to expand our religious understanding all the days of our lives, not just while we are young or if we are parents. All of us play a part in raising the children within our community, whether it is teaching or greeting people no matter their age, parenting, or singing our children to their classes. Today, as we dedicate these children, it is a time of celebration and commitment. We renew our promises to one another and to those children becoming a part of our congregation. This is how we keep our faith alive from generation to generation. Will the Jose and Hobel families today dedicating their children please come forward?
So, will you, as a family, cherish and nurture your children in body, mind, and spirit, giving freely of your own ideals and dreams, recognizing that they must develop on their own as they grow? Will you cultivate within your children a wonder for the earth and all its creatures, and a spirit of kindness toward all people so that they may grow into the fullness of life? If so, please say, I will.
The rose is a symbol of each child's unfolding life, and this water, gathered together in our water communion and made holy by our presence, blessing, and covenant, is the life-giving link that makes all the earth bear fruit.
Let's come on up onto the chancel, everybody. So some of you might be wondering what's happening because this looks a little different than it has in the past. We brought our old historic baptismal font up onto the chancel specifically to be able to use it in these moments as well as use it for our chalice stand. So the chalice is over on the table for today. It will come back here next week. And so we have our holy water created from our water communion and boiled and frozen so it is safe. And blessed by all of us, so it is spiritually grounded and good as well.
Can you please speak your child's full given name?
Or they can do it themselves if they're old enough and willing. Nope. All right.
Ryan Andrew Hobel, Connor Anthony Hobel.
All right. So Ryan, can you come here for a minute? Stand right there. Perfect. Ryan Andrew Hobel. By this name shall you be called. May you wear your name in courage, in honor, and in peace, and may your life unfold like the beauty of this flower. We bless your mind, we bless your heart, and I bless your hands. All right, come on forward. Connor Anthony Hobel. By this name shall you be called. May you wear it in courage, in honor, and in peace, and may your life unfold like the beauty of this flower. So I bless your mind and your heart and your hands.
And what is your wish for both Ryan and Connor?
You can come forward to the microphone, or you can use the handheld if you'd rather not. Yeah, all right.
Our hope for you is to continue to grow into smart, kind, and loving boys. Ryan, we hope you hold on to your creative nature, love of drawing, all things orange, and making us laugh. Connor, we hope that you continue to be curious with lots of questions, a love of rock music, and thoughtfulness for others. Always do the right thing and make good choices. We will always be here to support you, listen to you, and love you both no matter what.
What is your full given name?
Kai Lyric Jose.
This is Marley Willow Jose.
All right. Kai, will you come over? Kai Lyric Jose. By this name shall you be called. May you wear your name in courage, in honor, and in peace, and may your life unfold like the beauty of this flower. So bless your mind, and your heart, and your hand. Okay, Marley. Marley Willow Jose. By this name shall you be called. May you wear your name with courage and honor and peace, and may your life unfold like the beauty of this flower. So bless your mind, your heart, and your hands. Blessings.
And what is your wish for Marley and Kai?
Marley, you are strong-willed, kind, and passionate. My wish for you is to ask the challenging questions, to explore your own beliefs, speak your truth, and to stand strong in who you are. I wish for you to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. I wish you to continue to be an advocate for justice and compassion, and to use your voice to empower others. I wish you always to know that you are worthy of love, not just from others, but from yourself. Be kind to yourself in moments of struggle and celebrate achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Know that you are enough just as you are, and that you have the capacity to shape your own story. May you always trust that your voice matters, your choices matter, and that you have everything within you to create a life full of purpose. Kai, you are caring, reflective, and joyful. My wish for you is that you grow with confidence. Confidence is not just about believing in yourself when things are easy, but also having the courage to stand tall when life presents challenges. Life is a journey of discovery, and as you walk through it, I hope you never stop learning about the world, about others, and most importantly, about yourself. I wish for you to stand up for what is right and to advocate for others. May you always seek knowledge, remain open to new experiences, and embrace change as a path to becoming the person you're meant to be. I hope that you are true to who you are and never shy away from expressing your thoughts and dreams. Know that you are enough just as you are, and that you have the capacity to shape your own story. May you always trust that your voice matters, your choices matter, and you have everything within you to create a life full of purpose.
On behalf of our community, it is my pleasure to welcome your families into our Lifespan Religious Education program and into our congregation. Know that we are here to support you in your journey as your family discovers what is true and meaningful to you and what it means to be a UU. We will celebrate and mourn with you, laugh and cry with you, and through it all, we will be by your side.
And so today, the whole congregation makes a promise to your families as well. Their welcoming of you affirms their responsibility to be there to nurture, teach, and encourage our young people.
Members of the Universalist Church, including our children and youth, please rise in body or spirit as we speak a litany for dedicating these children. I'll say a line ending with "we promise," and then you will respond with one simple phrase each time, led by Reverend Adam. We are here with you. People raise children all over the world in so many different ways, but we know that children grow best when surrounded with love. So we promise.
We are here with you.
Children need wisdom and questions, protection and experience, boundaries and freedom. To our children, we promise.
We are here with you.
Parents and families need support and kindness, time to grow together and time to grow individually, strength and peace, understanding and knowledge. To our parents and families, we promise.
We are here with you.
Teachers need someone to teach. Congregations need people to congregate. We all need each other to help us be more than we can be alone. To one another, we promise.
We are here with you.
All of us, children, parents, families, teachers, all of us, need one another to thrive and transform and grow. So, in love, we each promise.
We are here with you.
You may be seated.
In dedicating our children, we also dedicate ourselves. We dedicate ourselves to care for those in our charge as parents or as a community, to our principles, to our covenant, to our values. We dedicate ourselves to making this world a better place for all of us, and then, hopefully, for all of those who come after us. I have done child dedications in many congregations over the years, many, many times, and it is one of the most joyful things I get to do as a minister. And one of the things that I am so excited about with our child dedications is that I have also gotten to see who our kids have become as they grew up. As they moved through junior high and high school and off into college and then out into the world. And I will tell you that you children, and then you young adults, and then you adults do incredible things in the world. They are amazing people. What we teach our children resonates throughout their lives and touches everything that they do. I know so many you young adults who have moved into adulthood who don't necessarily attend church, but when you ask, "Oh, what's your religion?" they say, "I'm a Unitarian Universalist." And you ask them what they do, and it's everything from sustainability education to human rights lawyering to becoming actually elected officials who are making change where they live, to people who are in business figuring out how to make the world a better place through the power of finance. We have people who make a difference each and every day. Some of them turn into religious educators or UU ministers. Our children go on to do incredible things and be incredible people. And that is largely due to their families and due to the congregations that support those families and children. And so these promises that we make are not just nice words, though hopefully they're nice words too. They are a guide for how we live, who we are together, how we decide to care for and support one another, how we decide to make a difference in the world, starting with one another and ourselves, and then progressing through time and space out into the whole of the world too. Our promises matter. Our promises guide us. So, for you families who have dedicated your children today, and for all of you who are raising children in any way, may you seek to share with your children the wonder of life and help them to be good stewards of this creation that we are blessed to share. May you remind your children that each person has an ageless and wonderful spark of the holy inside of them. And though we might understand what God is in a variety of different ways, every person is worthy of the great and unbounded love that we attribute to that holiness. We are all precious. We are all part of this wonderful creation, and we all deserve to feel that love and care and to offer it to others. May you share, all of you, with one another and our children here in this congregation and beyond, a sense of this greater love that does hold us all, because that is the beginning of faith, a sense of trust in our connections to one another and the source of all life. One of the things that I don't often get to do, but I have the time to do today, is to answer any questions about what child dedication is. And so if this is new to you, if this way of doing things is new or perhaps confusing, and you have a question about what it is and why we do what we do, I would invite you to ask it now. And that's true of anybody, of any age. If you are very young and you just went through child dedication and you have questions, feel free to ask. And if you're an adult who's thinking, this doesn't look like anything I've seen before, and you're wondering about it, please ask. Any questions? Yes, please. What is the age range for child dedication? So what we say is that it can be anybody who has not yet come of age. And so that is usually between, days after birth, if somebody is bold and ready to go right then, or up to about 8th grade. Because once our kids go through 8th grade, they participate in our coming of age ceremony, which is an opportunity for them to dedicate themselves to understanding who and what they are as Unitarian Universalists. It's a great question, thank you. Yes, David, please.
Do you know how long we've had this tradition, and did it come from the Unitarian side of the house or the Universalist side?
That is a great question. For those of you at home who could not hear him, David asked, how long have we had this tradition? And does it come from the Unitarians or the Universalists? So, my understanding is that there have been Unitarian baptisms and Universalist baptisms, and that some of that's going to have changed in congregations over time. But when the Unitarians and the Universalists merged in 1961, a lot of those practices changed. And so I don't know exactly when the practice of child dedication came into Unitarian Universalist services, but it's been around well over 20 years, because that's as long as I've been doing this, and we've been doing it that entire time. And so I suspect, like many of our rituals, like water communion and flower communion, it started happening in the 70s and 80s, is my best guess. Other questions? Yes? That's a great question. What is the significance of the rose? So we use roses in this congregation and in many others over the course of people's lives. And so we use a rose, usually without thorns, for blessing children. And then when they get to be teenagers and coming of age, or when we welcome people into membership, the thorns are usually left on. And that's a little bit of metaphor, because what we hope, of course, for our children is that life is not thorny at all. But we know as we age and grow that the reality is that life comes both with beauty and some discomfort now and then. And so the rose is a little bit of a symbol of that, the great beauty of life, but a beauty that also is not always easy or comfortable to hold on to. They also happen to hold up really, really well for a morning and dry beautifully later. So if you suspend them upside down, these are roses that you can have until you are an adult. Other questions? Yes, Norma, please.
I would just say that in 1982, I was pregnant with my twins when we joined the church. And right after their birth, we had them dedicated. So it's at least that old, and it wasn't new that we were doing it. We were coming into a tradition of practice of this church. So it had to be in the 70s.
Okay. So I'm going to repeat that so that folks at home can hear. Norma just said that when she was here, pregnant with her twins, and eventually gave birth to them, and dedicated them here in the church, that was 1982. So, and it was not a new practice here in this congregation, so it must have started in at least the 70s, and that makes sense to me. Thank you for that bit of history. Other questions? Yes, please. So this is an interesting question. And this gets far beyond child dedication. The question is, does this church believe that Jesus was divine or mortal? This church doesn't believe anything in particular. And so in this congregation, what we know is that we have many, many people coming from many backgrounds. I alluded to that in what I said before. So we have members who are Christian and members who are Jewish. We have members who are atheist and agnostic and Buddhist and Taoist. We have members who are Muslim. So we have people who come from a wide range of beliefs. And so we don't, as a congregation, believe anything in particular. We understand that each person has their relationship to the divine, and everybody's relationship to Jesus is a little bit different. And so when it comes time for Christmas and Easter, we celebrate those Christian holidays. And when it's the High Holy Days for Judaism in the fall and Passover in the spring, we celebrate and honor that as well, because we want to incorporate all the different ways that people believe and understand in this congregation. So it's a little more complicated than what does the church believe, because in many ways, Unitarian Universalism exists as institutionalized agnosticism. Right? As a community, what we say is, we don't all believe the same thing all the time, and that's okay. Our congregation is made richer by the diversity of belief and the discussions that we have about it. And so very rarely is there anything that we can say, the congregation believes this, but what we can say is, we come together because of our promises, right? That is what we did today. It's all about these promises, our covenant, of how we will be with one another even in the diversity of our belief. And so that is part of that important promise that we have made to your families and to you as the children of these families and to you all, is that we will be with one another in all of the different ways that we exist and believe and understand, and that we will support one another in our search for growth and spiritual life. So thank you for being a part of our congregation. Thank you for being part of our worship, for being dedicated. And now we will join in singing our closing hymn. It's number 408, Wonder of Wonders. Please rise in body or in spirit. Before we speak together our unison benediction, I have a couple of things to share with you from the order of service. One, the Holiday Carols Sing is, I believe, happening on Saturday the 14th. It's listed as both Sunday the 15th and Saturday the 14th on the back of your order of service. It is Saturday the 14th. And also today we will be having a time for any of you who are visitors, who are curious about the congregation, who would like to meet me and members of our welcome team. We will be gathering together right after worship in the parlor, which is straight out the back through the sanctuary and to the left in the main hallway. You can follow Norma Newman-Johnson here in the red if you would like to find your way toward that conversation. And now, let's join together in our unison benediction. It is the other half of our covenant, of our promises that we make not just to one another, but to the world. Let us speak together. Engage with the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Please be seated and remain for our postlude.